So I'll start.
You got a notepad, so we'll go to you.
All right. Is there anything that you're going to change from January's game to this game?
The crowd. It will definitely change the crowd. Be on our side, hopefully, for the most part. It's a little bit different down at the Yum Center. But in all seriousness, though, I'm sure that when you play a team a second time, there's different strategies. Obviously, they know some of the things we tried to do to them defensively. We got the lead so much in the game that their press became a huge factor. So you have to be prepared for so many different things because you just don't know how the flow of the game is going to go. Obviously, the trailing team both teams are pressing teams, so whichever team is behind is going to press. So the other team is going to have to handle that. Both teams play man and zone. Or we're obviously, my closeness with Coach Pitino and working with him, although it's been 11 years, but we're very similar in a lot of ways. And even though we both play multiple defenses, they're pretty similar. The question is going to be strategically, what do we choose to do with each other? So I think a lot of that is game flow. There'll be a lot of adjustments within the game.
And what would it mean? What would it mean to your team to sweep Louisville in possibly your last season playing them? Not scheduled.
Yeah, well, for our guys, we don't talk about that we don't play them anymore, and we never even talked about leaving the Big East. So, for the guys in our locker room, we understand that to win the conference and to try to get the highest seed we can for the NCAA tournament, that Louisville's a huge game for us. One of our goals this year was to go undefeated at home, so we'd be one game. If we beat Louisville, obviously we're down to one, down to the Memphis game. But as far as whether we play them ever again or not, that's way. My guys don't even. They may not even know who we play next, let alone who we play next year.
And how important is it for Justin Jackson obviously to stay out of foul trouble so you don't have to pull him out early? Yeah,
so I think what people don't realize in our last win against Louisville, how unbelievable it was considering Jermaine Lawrence was injured. The biggest key to our season was to be able to go undefeated without Jermaine Lawrence, and Justin staying out of foul trouble was big. If he don't play 30 minutes in that game, 30 plus, we don't win. Because we just didn't have anybody else. It's a tough game for Dave Narsick because of Louisville's speed. It's just hard for him to get up and down the floor at the pace that they get up and down the floor. Although I hope he can help us some tomorrow. And I'm concerned with Jermaine Lawrence. He hasn't seen them before. He hasn't seen the way they attack the ball defensively, and he hasn't guarded the speed of their guards before. So Justin is going to be big. I say this all the time. To win games like this, whether it's us or Louisville, your best players are going to have to play well. Your other guys are not going to be able to carry you in a game like this. I think for us to win, our veteran guys have got to be big. For Louisville to win, their veteran guys are going to have to be big. It's just that kind of game when you're playing against the elite opponents on your schedule. It's easy.
Any ideas?
I'm not done yet. Well, I can do it separately.
It doesn't matter. No, come on in. Come on in.
Conference championships.
See everybody. Obviously, all the other guys. Big time. Get this. Make sure you guys get this. I've been big timed by everybody. I got nobody but Channel 5 showed up today with somebody to ask questions. So make sure that Brad and KB and Papo get this, please.
Okay. This is a big game in the conference standings.
You got it.
Yeah.
Make sure you play it for them.
Big game in the conference standings, obviously. People don't talk about conference championships much anymore. They talk about RPI and tournament seeding. And,
yeah.
How important is a conference championship to you guys? Does it still matter?
Yeah, I think it does matter. There's no doubt it matters. It's probably not what it was in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And I would attribute the devaluing of conference championship regular seasons to unbalanced schedules. Now this year, and this could be the last year in the history of our program, that the men's basketball team is in a balanced schedule. So it's a quality, and you're going to have a true conference champion. So the unbalanced schedule, I think, led to that. Also, the emphasis on the NCAA tournament, in the last 15 years to success in your program. And it's unfortunate because you just have a team like Missouri last year has an unbelievable season and got upset in the first round of their conference or of the NCAA tournament. And your season it's almost like all the great things you did didn't happen.
Right.
So it's unfortunate, but I just think it's a reality it's like social media. It's a reality.
So do your players not care that much about a conference championship?
I wouldn't say. I think that they want to win one. I think that, especially since the guys in our, we don't have anybody in our locker room that's won one. Mm-hmm. I talked to them about it. I said, that banner goes up too. And they obviously have their eyes on a bigger banner, but that banner goes up too, and it never comes down. So the rest of your life, you come back to games and you look up there and you can tell your kids, hey, we won that championship. I think they feel the same way about the game, we're gonna have to defend a 3-point shot. That's a big thing with them. People don't realize how well it's really probably the best shooting team he's had at Louisville, statistically, numbers-wise, and especially when they play Blackshear and Hancock together in a 4-guard lineup. They're devastating. And the difference between, a lot of teams can shoot, but the Louisville shooters can also blow by you on a dribble. And even Luke Hancock, he's really good at it. So it's not like, well, they're just shooters, pressure them all over the floor, they'll go by you. So there's a reason there's such a high efficiency offensive team. There's a reason they're scoring in the last 5 games 86 a game. You score, a lot of people score 86 a game in November. Yeah. When you're playing some, the mid majors of the world. You're scoring 86 a game in February. That's pretty serious. In fact, I don't know. I would, other than Louisville and Creighton right now, they'd be the best 2 offensive teams in the country. So, just as important as taking care of the ball against them it's so important because they're so hard. They're hard enough to defend 5-on-5. Mm-hmm. If you give them layups, you got no chance.
Right. The other night in Orlando, you said you thought you might have surprised them a little bit the last time.
They're players.
They're players, right? How do you think? I don't know. How will this be different? I mean, if they know coming into this game how good you guys are, how do you think that impacts this game and impacts your players' psyches going into this game?
Again, like I said, I think everything that the coach that lost the first game says gets heightened awareness to his players. Where what I asked my guys after the Central Florida game was, when I talk to you, please do not sit there and in the back of your mind think, we're better than them. We beat them at Louisville. Because that's a foolish thought if you think that. And that is the trap that got us beat at SMU. You have to understand that we won that game that night because we out-scrapped them. At the end of the day, despite if we wouldn't have dug in a lot tougher defensively and rebounding than they did, the lead would not have lasted. We wouldn't have been able to hang on the way we did. And if we don't have that same determination, if we give that to them, then we're going to give the game away.
After that game, Pitino was very upset that they put SK on the line so many times down the stretch.
Yeah, I would be too.
And so obviously they're going to try to keep that from happening in a close game. How do you try to counter that to make sure he's got the ball in his hands?
Give it to him. First of all, let's hope that's a problem. Let's hope we're winning, and if we're winning, he'll have the ball.
Yeah.
See, the good thing about when you got a great free throw shooter and that takes care of the ball, but he's also 225 pounds. Mm-hmm. And the only way you're going to deny him is to hold him and grab him. Yeah. Now, which they tried to do, and they tried to flop a few times. Mm-hmm. But he's pretty smart. It's not the first time that's happened to him. It's been going on all year.
Will it help you? You think that your younger guards have played Louisville now once they know what to expect?
I hope so. Like I said, my biggest concern is Jermaine Lawrence didn't play in that game. So it's very hard almost impossible to simulate their speed, especially Russ Smith. His speed is tremendous.
How much more cohesive have Russ and Chris Jones been of late? It seems like they're figuring out a way to work together.
Right now, they're hitting on all cylinders. They're dismantling everybody they play. Let's just be honest. I mean, they're averaging since we beat them, our margin of victory is 24 points a game. That's unheard of in conference play, in any conference. I mean, that's completely unheard of. And their offense has just been devastating. That's because of their passing. But like I said, the problem is they got a low post score, and all their perimeter guys can A, shoot, and B, beat you on the dribble. And if they're playing unselfish and they're playing cohesive, you know, it's tough to deal with.
So is the difference in those games just that they're passing better, or if you see something else that they're doing better?
I think that they smother teams with their defense, and teams get rattled and never really get settled 5-on-5 to give themselves even a chance to defend Louisville. That their teams are so rattled that with the shots that they're taking, it's not all turnovers. It's mostly just they never get comfortable, like we were at SMU. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to be able to handle their speed and quickness and what they do defensively, so you're settled offensively, and you can play a normal game. You know, if you're rattled the entire game, your defense is never going to get set, and your scouting report goes out the window, and you're in deep trouble. And because that's where they got you. I mean, they're a lot better at playing the way they play than you are.
You won 4 of the last 6 games against Louisville. How much do you think that irks Pitino?
I think that I know Coach Pitino. I think anytime he loses, let me change that. I know from experience. Yeah. That anytime he loses, he is highly upset.
Whether it's you or
whether it's me or Elmer Fudd, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't, and that's why he's one of the greatest to ever coach the game. You know, losing's not in his vocabulary.
Think about having your guys grow beards?
No, no, we just worry about the Bearcats. All right, guys.